What is up, you guys? Pete DiCarlo here, teaching you guys how to grow your portfolios one trade at a time. And today, I actually started a new TD Ameritrade account that you guys can see right here. I funded the account with $400, and the point of this is to show you guys how to start with a small account, maybe $200, $300, $400, $500, and invest every single week and grow your account over the next 5, 10, 15, 25 years. While I am a trader, we all know that long-term investing is how you truly build wealth. And honestly, there is no reason that you should not be taking a little bit out of your paycheck every single week or month and building a portfolio that you can eventually live off of. Now, there's a lot of people on the internet who will teach you how to make money, but they have multiple six-figure accounts, and even myself, I have more money in the market right now than most people. And so I wanted to make something that's more relatable for you guys and show you how I would actually go about starting with a couple $100 and growing it into $50,000 over the next 5 years. And so my goal is to start with $400, put $5,200 a year into this account, or $100 a week, get around a 22% return each year, and by my calculations, that should be about $50,000 in the next 5 years. I'm gonna put this out every single week. I'm gonna do a little bit of an update on how this portfolio is doing, what I plan to buy, and kind of the positions that I'm carrying over the next couple of years. You guys can follow along exactly. Just remember, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just what makes sense and works for me. If you guys want to do your own thing, let me know. Comment down below what stocks you would actually put in this portfolio. Now, here is our portfolio breakdown. There's a couple of different things that I had to think about going into building this portfolio. The first one is that if we're only putting $100 a week into this account, they can't really be stocks that are, super expensive. TD Ameritrade does not have fractional sharing like some of these other brokerages, so I can't just go and buy a piece of like Amazon, Apple, Tesla, any of these higher priced stocks. So I'm kind of pricing these around companies that I think have a lot of potential in the next 5 years, potentially pay a dividend. As you can see, that's not something I'm really interested in right now, and something that I can actually buy one of, every single week or month. And the first company is going to be GAN. As of right now, we have 2 shares at $22.90. The cost basis for that was $45.71, and right now we are up 9 cents. For those of you who do not know, GAN is a company that I've loved for a very long time. They are actually the ones who make the back end to FanDuel, DraftKings, all of these online gambling companies. They have a pretty decent sized market cap, $662 million. They have 28.9 million shares outstanding. They do not have an EPS as they are still a negative company. Obviously, there is no dividend, and they are pretty high when it comes to their 52-week range, but this is a company that I see having huge potential in the next 5 years, right? We just see more and more people using these companies like FanDuel and these online betting companies to either play casino games from their house, or the big thing is sports betting and live sports betting. That's where the whole online market has huge potential, because say it's the bottom of the 9th inning, you could actually bet on up to the last pitch of a baseball game, or the last shot of a basketball game, or the last 30 seconds in a UFC fight. That brings gambling to a whole nother level, and I really think that GAN is going to, profit greatly off of this trend in the next 5 years. As well, think about the future of esports. We've seen esports really grow over the past 4 or 5 years, and I'm sure that gambling on esports is going to be something big in the future. So GAN, for sure, is going to be one of my investments. The next one is Peloton. I wish, guys, I would have gotten on this Peloton train a very long time ago, and I'm going to kind of give a quick wrap up of my bullish thesis in this video. But we have 2 Peloton shares right now with an average price of $61.82. Our cost basis is $122.48, and we are currently up $1.16, or almost 1%. Now, Peloton has a huge market cap of $17.5 billion. We've seen this really grow over the past 6 months since Peloton has just been on a tear. They do not have a dividend, they do not have a PE ratio, and they do not have a positive EPS. They are at the high end of the 52-week range, just like GAN was. I think Peloton is going to kill it in the next 5 years. I really got onto the Peloton train late. I thought that Peloton was just for old rich white people who wanted to get an overpriced high-tech piece of gym equipment in their house, just kind of as like a look at me type of piece. But what I didn't realize is the insane community that is based around Peloton. If you talk to anybody who owns a Peloton, who has ridden a Peloton, they all think so highly of this company and of this brand. If you go to any Facebook group, you'll see that there are hundreds of thousands of dedicated clients. And something that they're doing now is really bringing the price point down. And they also made a deal with Roku that I made a video on before, really moving into the everybody household where you can spend $12 a month, and they're actually targeting not just your super rich or middle class clients, but actually everybody. And something that not a lot of people think about with Peloton is if you do a 1 hour workout a day on the Peloton Roku platform, on the actual bike, on the treadmill, that is 1 hour out of the 16 hours on average that you are awake. And in a world where social media, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Peloton, all these people are grabbing for your attention, solidifying 1 hour of your day, to Peloton and to that network, that is huge. Now, the next one is going to be Skyworks Solutions, ticker SWKS. This is, to a lot of people, a 5G play, but this is a company I still think is pretty fairly valued or still a bit undervalued. So I got one share at $131.60. We are currently down $1.02 or 0.77%. Skyworks Solutions is a company I did invest in before. I actually sold, obviously, way too early. It's something that I always do. But this is just, from a financial standpoint, I'm not going to go over the balance sheet and the income statement because I've done it in a lot of other videos for this specific company. But when it comes to company fundamentals and financials specifically, besides Facebook, this is one of the best companies I've ever seen. So the market cap is $22 billion. They have 166.8 million shares outstanding, an EPS of $4.60, and a PE ratio of 29.5. The annual dividend is 1.3%. So it's not a crazy high yield dividend, but a dividend nonetheless. It is trading at its 52-week high, but I still believe Skyworks Solutions is at a very attractive valuation right now if you're planning to hold for the next 3, 4, 5 years. And the final one is Uber. Now, it's kind of funny because I had a $25,000 position in Uber with an average of like 21 bucks, and I actually sold this when it hit $38 a couple of months ago. So it's funny that right now I own 3 shares of Uber, but still a company with huge upside potential. Of course, every single one of these are essentially technology companies, and they could get murdered if a crash were to happen again. But remember, I'm thinking long term, over the next 5 to 6 years. I don't really care what happens in the short term, but I do think Uber has huge potential. I've made plenty of videos on why I think Uber could be $350 a share. I'm very, very, very bullish on Uber. My average price is $31.17, currently up 91 cents right now, and we have a market gain of about 1%. I'm not going to go too far into my, bullish thesis on Uber because I did make a whole video on that. But as far as the fact that once they get their ride sharing aspect back together after the whole Rona situation, as well with deliveries still kind of killing them during the Rona situation, I think that in the end, doing the free deliveries thing is really going to pay off a couple of years from now. Now, another big thing with Uber is going to be the potential AI taxi service that we're kind of seeing potentially in the future of Tesla. But I think that overall, this is a great company. A lot of people look at it as a delivery ride-sharing company, but really it's a technology company. And this is something that I would love to own going into the next 5 years. So obviously, a lot of these companies are not the safest companies. I don't have a lot of staples that you would see in a long-term portfolio. Then again, I think that we live in a time period right now where you can't just go with the staples, right? We've seen a lot of these staples that would be in a long-term portfolio, like travel, like banks, like Coca-Cola, like all of these normal companies that would go into a long-term portfolio have been murdered during this whole Rona situation. So I'm not saying that this is the best portfolio. We're still in the very early stages of this. I'm definitely going to add other positions over time, but these are companies that I actually think are fairly valued, and that's kind of hard right now. That's how I know that, not that a crash is coming. I'm going to make a video on this next week, but how I know that we're not in a good place in the market right now, when I have to really search high and low to find things that are even fairly valued, right? Fairly valued. There's really nothing I think that are undervalued, but let me know what you guys are going to put in your portfolios. Let me know if you're going to start a portfolio. Let me know if you think that these are great picks or if I'm a total idiot. I want to hear from you guys, good or bad. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, guys. It means the world to me, and it really helps to get these videos out there so I can continue to make more of them. Once again, thank you guys, and have a good day.